On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 3 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, SiriusXM Channel 158. However you take it as in, we appreciate it. It's Gill Alexander live from San Francisco this week. Kelley Bydlon with costume changes back in the studios, the VSiN studios back at Circo. Are we expecting another costume change?
I don't know.
later?
Maybe it's TBD. It's TBD. And I did not bring my John Deere hat like Wes Reynolds was rocking yesterday on Long Shots.
We have some, by the way, Nick Whalen coming up this hour, talk NBA with us. We're about to go country clubbing. I guess we can go country clubbing right now. Let's do it.
To the club.
Oh, yeah. So here's the Dilliosis. We have a situation here at Wimbledon. Solana Sierra serving for the match against Coco Gauff in the third set. In the second round. Sierra up. Coco took the first set. Sierra took the second set. And it's 5-4 Solana Sierra, the Argentinian. The match is on her racket. We shall see if Coco gets bounced. 3 of my 4 are in play, Kelley. And these are all they're all big dogs on the ladies' side, and they're all in sweat formation right now. Diane Paris, who this match actually started before the show started, plus 164 versus Anna Kalinskaya. Kalinskaya won the first set after Paris was up 3-love. Paris went up again in the second set. That one she was able to win 6-3. We are now at 3-3 in the third. 3-3 in the third. Let's go, Diane Paris. Try to get the plus 164 home. The others have started. Barbora Krejcikova is up a break early in the first set against Mira Andreeva, the French Open champ. Krejcikova, former champion at Wimbledon, is a plus. Oh, what did I say? Mira Andreeva, plus 182. That's right. Against Mira Andreeva. Barbora Krejcikova up a break there. And then Tatiana Maria has just started against Iva Jovic. That is on serve very early in the first set. The only one that has not started is the longest shot of all of them, which is Wang Xinyu against Belinda Bencic. That's the only one that hasn't started if you want to get in on the action. But right now, the other 3 are going. They're all dogs. Let's go. Let's have ourselves a day at the All England Cup in Wimbledon. Coco. Yeah, go ahead, Kelley. I'm sorry.
No, by the way, we didn't even mention this on air. You, Chris, and I were talking about it off air. I don't know how many times I've seen this, but Rory McIlroy at Wimbledon today wearing his Masters jacket.
Yeah. It's like, flexing.
I guess it's just a little odd. It's like the guy wearing his Super Bowl ring like everywhere. I don't know.
I don't know. Here's the thing: if he had won the first Masters and this was like a year plus after, then I would sort of be with you. Right? I'm like, what is he doing? But he won it again, right? So I guess every time he wins it, he can still do this.
Okay. I'd say good point, but okay, we're talking 2.5 months ago at this, but it's not like it just happened.
Well, when you win the Masters, I want to see you not wear that green jacket. Let's see how you.
No, you're right. I'd be wearing it everywhere. It was like, that's Rory McIlroy? That is a Masters jacket he is wearing. Okay.
I would love to go to Wimbledon, but I don't want to I want to go properly. right? I want to go proper, have a seat, that kind of thing.
They are. You and I have talked about this before. They are, besides the Australian Open, every Grand Slam is definitely on my sports bucket list. I have not remotely come close to going to one of them, but I will hit all three: French, U.S., Wimbledon.
I have been to the U.S. Open. I would go every year if I could.
That's all I ever hear.
I'm kind of with you. And this is no offense to the Australians out there, but the haul to Melbourne is a little too long to not be fourth place among the fourth, I would say.
Yep.
We'll leave it at that. Coco Gauff right now is trying to break back. She has a break point, so we'll see if Coco can last.
She has broken.
She has
broken and is back to minus 241 live to win this thing. I'm sorry, I'm cheating. I'm cheating on the look ahead.
That's all right. Coco not messing around. She staves off defeat there, so this match will continue as the number 7 seed on the lady side tries to continue. It is the John Deere Classic this week, and by classic I mean not so classic in terms of the pool of golfers. Tell us what you know about this. What profile of a golfer that should win this?
Yeah. John Deere Classic. It's funny you say that, Gill, because it's benefited from some schedule changes. It's also always been in a bad spot here after the U.S. Open. We're in the dead of the summer now. Everybody's kind of turning their attention to the Open and turning their attention to Europe. And now that the Scottish Open has really become a marquee event, which is next week, there's really not a lot of time between, U.S. Open, then you play signature event last week. You get this week before you head over to Europe. So you do see different players handle this differently. However, this is a golf course that you always hear the players talk very highly about. The other thing that's worked in its benefit, Gill, is because where it falls in the schedule, one of the benefits is it is after the full college season. So you know how we often talk about some of these younger kids playing in tournaments earlier in the season and whether they're going to go pro or wait till after their college season. There's none of those questions anymore. So you do really get to see all the high-end younger talent that is now either on the PGA Tour, will be on the PGA Tour in the next year. So that's kind of one of the exciting things. One of the names you're going to hear a lot this week is Jackson Coyven. Really, Auburn's their best golfer, really good season there. He's 6th on the odds board this week. And shop around, I've seen him as high as 3rd. It is consensus Ben Griffin and Chris Goddard up at the top, Gill, as it should be. Two best players in this field. Not close. At DraftKings, it goes Keith Mitchell plus 1850, and I love Cashmere Keith, but that is a short number for Keith. Jordan Spieth 24-1. Jordan Spieth, by the way, with some sharp comments about gambling yesterday, and go check out his Twitter page where all he does.
Wait. Do share. Hold on, you can't throw that out there without sharing.
He was just gambling's becoming a problem on the golf course and yada yada yada, all that stuff at his press conference, and as our good friend Andy Molitor quickly pointed out on Twitter. Go to Jordan Spieth's Twitter page and see what he sent out recently. All it is FanDuel endorsement stuff. So I always love when we get these athletes complaining about it and complaining but happy to take a check, right? Happy to take a check.
But what is he referring to? Is he referring to gambling amongst the players or among the fans in the gallery?
The fans in the gallery and the rowdiness getting out of hand. And we are underway at the World Cup, and it is Congo on the board first.
Wow.
1-0.
That was quick.
1-0,
wow.
6th minute goal.
Wow. We have some drama. Congo on the board, 1-0, 6 minutes in. Wow, that was quick. This is the thing. Brian Kipenga on target to give them a 1-0 advantage. Chancel Mbemba on the assist. And England early, too early to say backs against the wall, but at least in a hole here early.
Gil, I don't know if you saw the replay. It was like a long cross that I'm not really sure it was supposed to go to the guy that it went to, but it found the guy who had a wide open shot that on the net.
Was Erling Haaland getting credit for it, Kelley?
He probably will. He should. Yeah. He should. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so let's get to the bets. John Deere Classic. If you're handicapping this at home, yes, this is a birdie fest. We have had, get this, Gill, you ready for this? The last 16 champions of this event have been 18 under or better.
Oh,
16 straight years. Yeah, it's one of those. So it does become a bit of a putting contest. We had Brian Campbell win this event last year at 350 to 1. Reminder, because I suffered through a couple of these last year. Brian Campbell won twice on tour last year. It's still one of the more amazing things about last season. Look, you got pretty wide fairways here, about 37 yards wide average. The rough is penal. You got about 4-inch high rough out there. It can be bothersome. Around the green play at this course, one of the more difficult on the PGA Tour. The problem is, Gill, you hear me say this a lot. If we're talking about a birdie fest and you got to go out there and score, well, you're probably not going to be playing from off the green very often. You're probably going to be finding the green with your approach shot. So you're doing your own handicapping. That it's something to keep in mind, but not something that I really factored in too much statistically this week. It will be very important. Accuracy off the tee. You will have some shorter approach shots, so a lot of wedges this week if you want to look at some of the shorter iron players. A lot of wedges into some big greens. There are some bunkers if you're watching at home, 78 bunkers on this course they'll have to deal with. But overall, very attackable course. I couldn't move on as far as bets here. Outright market. First click that I made, and I know he's been a popular name this week, but was Tom Kim at 33 to 1. He struggled really at the beginning of the season, but he's starting to put it together. Third place finish at the U.S. Open, T15 at the RBC Canadian Open, playing much better and has gained in 5 straight on approach. His irons are really dialed in. So really liked Tom Kim. And then I couldn't, this is a weak field. You know me, Gill. I kept going back to Chris Gotterup, and he's not the best wedge player on the planet. The around the green game hasn't been great recently, but over the last 16 rounds, he ranks second in this field, off the tee, on approach, and with putting. So, okay, use your big driver, hit it straight down the fairway, Gotterup, put it on the green, and go make a putt. I couldn't get over that. 18 to 1, I ended up on him as one of the shorter shots. And then another guy who's not exactly strong with wedges, and he is a big-time driver who rated out very highly for me this week. Aldrich Potgieter, my last outright. He was 8th at the RBC Canadian Open. He's put together some consistent good finishes here recently. I'm gonna take a chance on him at a 60 to 1. Also played him in the top 20 market. Top 10s on Gotterup and Tom Kim, and then other top 20s. I do like Keith Mitchell this week. He is playing some of the best golf of his career right now. Just so tough to bet the guy in the outright market. He's won once in his career. And then Blades Brown, the 19-year-old. Let's give him a shot this week. 3 to 1 top 20.
Well done. I know it's way early, but what a calamity this would be for England.
Yes.
We'll keep a track of it all, for sure. Nick Whalen on the NBA next on A Numbers Game.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro. On A Numbers Game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The all-new VSiN NFL betting guide is out now. Whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, or Super Bowl odds, our guide helps you get ahead of the market before training camps begin. Inside, you find breakdowns of all 32 teams, projected win totals, best bets from VSiN experts, futures analysis, power ratings, and more. Get it today with our football special for just $175. The sooner you sign up, the more value you get with full access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits for DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Head to vsin.com/subscribe now. That's vsin.com/subscribe. Coco Gauff in a third set tiebreaker. She is down a mini break to Solana Sierra. So a little bit of drama over there. We'll see how that goes here the rest of the way. For Coco Gauff, the 7 seed on the ladies' side, it is perilous for her at this point. We had tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate best listeners in the game, best feedback ever. This is from, let's see, Brosec 1870, who says, baseball, soccer, basketball, even football, I turn away from a numbers game. I only listen for egg whites, free will, seismology, tattooed tennis women, and food talk. Oh, and USA hype. Shout out Kelley Bydlon. Thank you for that, Stephen. Chance Copperpot, following up on the previous one, he says, the internet said you were 61. Then it said you were 52. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Merle bets for Gill and Kelley. When YouTube TV announced that they would allow build your own multi-view, this is exactly what we wanted it for. Shout out to the VSiN Live family for great content every day. He's got a shot of England Congo on one screen.
Yes.
And me and Kelley on the other. That's awesome.
I love it. Love it. I can tell you that there is nobody more excited about this than our boss, Steve Cohen. I think I've heard him bring it up 17,000 times in meetings, and he's absolutely right. You can make setups like this. Throw on the World Cup. Throw on me and Gill. That's
right. We appreciate it. We also appreciate the presence of Nick Whalen, who is the co-host of the show that follows us here at the top of the hour. It's called Prop Points. He does it with Jeff Erickson each and every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Nick joins us now courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line after a spate of NBA trades. How you doing, Nick?
Doing well, guys. Yeah, it's unfortunate timing. You know, we just have nothing to talk about right now in the NBA. It's like every 3 minutes, I'm getting another notification that the Lakers have overpaid for a role player.
Oh, is that your take on the latest with them?
I'm just wondering what the plan is here. You know, was LeBron James, you know, kind of aware of what Rob Pelinka wanted to do? Was it truly the Lakers saying, we don't want you back? Was it LeBron looking around and saying, okay, I think the twilight of my career might officially be arriving? Although I thought it was interesting that, you know, LeBron, through his agent, Rich Paul, made it clear that he's not saying next year will be his final season. And I don't blame him with the way he's still playing. I thought when he was out there last year, he was still at a second, third team all NBA level, especially in the playoffs. But look, I mean, so the Lakers have basically, you know, they parted ways with LeBron James. They parted ways with Marcus Smart, who actually gave them shockingly good minutes, I thought, in the postseason. And you gave up 2 firsts, 2 swaps, and paid Walker Kessler an expensive contract. You've now brought in Colin Sexton, Quentin Grimes, Andrew Mamukelashvili. You kind of have this 2-man team with Luka and Reeves. And I think when you compare that to a lot of the teams around the Western Conference, it looks pretty good. It's still not, to me, a team that is anywhere near San Antonio, anywhere near the depth of an OKC. So it feels like a retooling, but I don't know that I feel tremendously better about this Lakers team. You know, I think they might be better off if they could have figured something out with a 41, 42-year-old LeBron James, even if that wasn't going to be a long-term partnership. It's a new era of Lakers basketball, but I don't see the Lakers right now as anything more than a fringe title contender and a team that is once again going to depend extremely heavily on Luka Doncic.
Well, that's the thing with all of this Western Conference stuff, right? It's like, it's great, you know, like sports talk radio stuff, including, by the way, LeBron to Golden State, if that were to happen. But I don't know that it leads to any bets in the West as long as Oklahoma City and San Antonio sit on top of that. The real question does become the Kawhi trade, right, to Toronto, because we're just on the heels of seeing the Knicks win the NBA championship, showing that you can come out of sort of the middle-ish of the pack of the playoff teams in the Eastern Conference. So we have evidence of that. Now we see Mitchell Robinson, by the way, go to the Celtics. What do you think about that move? What do you think about Michael Conley going to the Celtics? Mike Conley going to the Celtics? What do you think about Kawhi to Toronto? Does that lead to a bet, perhaps?
Well, first and foremost, I think you're right that the way the Eastern Conference has operated really for a while now, but especially this past year with a team like the Knicks, who were not some 65-win juggernaut during the regular season. I think it's a copycat league, and I think you have teams looking around and saying, okay, the Knicks are good, but they're not unbeatable by any means. Even though they toppled the Spurs in the finals, I still think there's this. There are these behemoths at the top of the West where you're going to compare even the good rosters and say, okay, nice try, but you're not beating those teams. But the East to me feels pretty wide open still. Again, you have a lot of good teams at the top, but you don't have any great teams, especially if the Boston Celtics do end up moving on from Jaylen Brown. They'll get a nice package, but they probably won't get the equivalent of what second team All-NBA Jaylen Brown would give them alongside a healthy Jason Tatum. So I think with Kawhi now in Toronto, and we have to throw out the obvious caveat that it is Kawhi Leonard. He usually misses at least 15 to 20 games, sometimes significantly more than that. He's 35. All these things are adding up. So there is some risk here for the Raptors, but I think we have a very clear big five now at the top of the East. Boston for now still has to be in that group. Again, even if they trade Jaylen Brown, they're going to find ways to replace that production. Obviously, the Knicks are in that group. Toronto's in that group. The Miami Heat, which we'll see how they fill out the rest of this roster, especially with Norm Powell officially moving on to the Chicago Bulls. And then the Cavaliers, would be the other team that I'd throw in there. The odds right now would tell you that Detroit has shorter odds to win the Eastern Conference, but I feel like the Pistons have been kind of passed up. This was the 60-win 1 seed a year ago, and it's feeling like they're trending toward losing Jalen Duren. Yeah, you brought in John Collins. I don't think anybody's extremely fired up about that. I guess he's your Tobias Harris replacement. I think they'll probably end up settling for trading for Tyler Hero, but is that really somebody you trust in the postseason? And look, if LeBron specifically ends up back in Cleveland for a third time, then we have that true big five. You could sell me on those 5 teams finishing in just about any order at the top of the East.
Yeah, it's, and again, sort of with the eye towards, okay, can we get ahead of a bet? Let's go back to Jaylen Brown for a second. So sure. I'm going to go with the Chris Felica viewpoint, which I think is the correct one, which is because I initially thought, Jaylen Brown will get over the whole Giannis trade talk stuff. It's kind of even a compliment that he would be included as the guy for Giannis, one of the all-time greats. But apparently they can't make it work out behind the scenes. Apparently he's got to go. And so, okay, we go to, let's just look at the Kalshi market for Jaylen Brown's next team. We sort of alluded to this earlier. Staying with Boston or retires is actually the short shot. I don't believe that. After that, it's Cleveland plus 455, Western Conference teams, Portland and Denver, and then Detroit. So Cleveland and Detroit, let me just ask you to speculate, but with sort of some a calculated, educated answer, which is, do you think Cleveland or Detroit would make a run at him? And if so, would you immediately think that team is the out and out favorite to win the East?
It would, of course, depend on what they're giving up. And I'm very curious what both teams would have to offer in that deal. Cleveland, in theory, I think would have to be built around Jared Allen or Evan Mobley. And, the Celtics going out and bringing in Mitchell Robinson today makes you wonder, okay, is that potentially off the table? But if they could get their hands on Mobley, I think that's probably the best possible 1-for-1 replacement you could find if you're the Celtics. But to answer your question, if Jaylen Brown ends up in Cleveland and that's the piece that pushes LeBron James to join that team at a significant discount, then yes, the Cavaliers to me would have to be the favorite in the Eastern Conference. I get the connection with Detroit. Obviously, they'll make a run at Jaylen Brown. I just don't know what you're sending back. If you're the Detroit Pistons, is a pick space package and throwing in Ron Holland. I don't know. Could you pry Asar Thompson away from the Detroit Pistons? Like that's nice. That's fine. But if I'm Boston, I think that means I'm taking a pretty significant step back in the short term. And I'm not sure the Celtics are all that interested in doing that. So I think Detroit will make a run at Jaylen Brown. I think they'll come up short because there will be enough teams interested that can offer better packages. But Cleveland is the value right now to me in the Eastern Conference. Even if they don't get Jaylen Brown, if they just go out and get LeBron James with the way that James Harden is talking about taking a discount to enable that to happen, like if they could bring in LeBron essentially without giving up any of their core pieces, I know that would still require betting on James Harden to make it to the finals and win the finals, but Cleveland is the team I would bet right now in the East. I'm very nervous about how Miami is going to be able to fill out the rest of this roster, and I'm not as high on the Bam Giannis pairing as a big two as the market generally seems to be.
What can we expect at the top of the hour on Prop Points?
I am probably going to try to hijack the entire show and just talk about NBA agency. I know we're going to be required to talk some World Cup. Jeff's going to have all of his baseball plays, but I'm going to maximize basketball talk to begin the show. I will promise you that.
All right. Well, I'll give you a suggestion here. Kelley and I are going to do some NFL season win totals on the other side, and the NFC specifically. That's what we're doing next. Nick, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Prop Points, top
Anytime,
of the hour.
guys.
NFC season win totals, our favorites next on A Numbers Game.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on A Numbers Game, live from San Francisco and Las Vegas. Gill Alexander, Kelley Bydlon, producer number 9. So much more than a producer. Holding it down there at our VSiN studios atop the world's largest sports book at Circa. Check it out, by the way, if you ever go to Vegas. If you've never been, the world's largest sports book, and then Stadium Swim, where you can wade in the water in ridiculous temperatures while betting on sports. Amazing thing. But you have a nice little weather spate there right now, Kelley, right?
A nice little what? Weather? Is that
like
what you said?
Isn't it like low 90s, which for Vegas is pretty awesome?
No, it's gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous. I think it's getting a little warmer today. It's warming back up. I know I joke about this all the time. I don't know if you're like me when you're out here, but you move here from the East Coast or especially South Florida like me, where, the weather kind of comes into play every day. You get very lazy living in Las Vegas, not checking the weather forecast very often. It's like, yeah, it's summertime. It's going to be hot. So I'm always that guy that's like shocked when I wake up and I'm like, what happened? Like, why is it 20 degrees cooler today? Or why is it raining all of a sudden? I never know what's coming weather-wise.
Couple updates. Coco Gauff does survive in a third set tiebreaker, which he wins 10-7. Remember, the deciding tiebreaker goes to 10. And then this soccer score is holding up still. 1-0 Congo in the 30th minute. Congo scored in the 7th minute of this match to take a 1-0 lead over England. And the entire nation of England right now is feeling it. Long way to go. But man, would this be a disappointment if this held. Nemo, Ryan's voice on Twitter. NFC win totals, you say, Gill? Come on, Kelley. You know you want this. He's talking about his Vikings. We'll find out if the Vikings are included. Let's do it. Win total Wednesdays.
Are the guys looking over or under? It's another edition of Win Total Wednesday on A Numbers Game.
That's a lovely intro. All right, Kelley Bydlon. How do you want to do this? You want to go back and forth? Me one, then you one, then me one, then you one? That kind of thing?
You know what? I think we each have 3, and we each have one. We each have one that we've bet, and then there's 2. We each have 2 that we heavily lean towards. So how about we go with the ones that we bet? You go with yours first, and then I'll do mine.
Okay. The one that I've bet, people already know if they've listened to the show. I am on the Niners over 10.5 wins at plus 105. Again, the premise of this is that the San Francisco 49ers finished the regular season last year at 12-5. People, they think of the Rams and the Seahawks in one tier in whatever order, and the Niners sort of a notch below that. And I'm not saying that's not the case, but the Niners still finished 12-5 for God's sakes. And they did it while missing 64 total games amongst their 6 highest paid players: Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, George Kittle. Those are all first-team All-Pro guys, Pro Bowlers, or dare I say Hall of Famers. So that was 64 games. That's the most among any of the playoff teams from last year. And remember how they got bounced, by the way, in the playoffs? That's another thing. They went up to Seattle, and they basically spotted the Seahawks 17 points. Yeah. They gave up an opening kickoff return for a touchdown. I remember it was 7-0 before you could blink. Then they did that ridiculous use check sweep, like your fullback sweep on 4th and short in their own territory. Then they turned the ball over in their own territory. Seattle capitalized. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to beat the Seahawks. What I'm saying is that was over before it started. We never really got to see what that game could have been like. They got a bunch of reinforcements here. Christian Kirk, Mike Evans in terms of the wideout room. You know how I like rooms, the wide receiver room. Michael Williams, Upton Stout, really good defenders on defense, young defenders. Osa Odigizua is their big pickup as well on defense. The Niners go from the 11th hardest schedule in the NFL to the 8th easiest this year. And again, this from a team that finished 12-5 last year. This from a team that lost all those games to injury. I think Brock Purdy's a bunch better than most people do. I'm not trying to have them win the Super Bowl, win the conference, win the division. I just need them to get to 11 wins, less than they did last year. Give me the Niners over 10.5 wins, plus 105.
Yeah, really hard for me to argue that. The only thing that, it's NFC West, right? It's tough. You got the Seahawks, you got the Rams there, but you just said it. You're playing in the NFC West, and you still have the 8th easiest schedule based off win total. So that's a big deal. I mean, you see, if you're watching at home, you see it on the screen: Dolphins, Cardinals, Raiders. You see some of the bad teams that they will play. So. I love Kyle Shanahan. I'm with you on Brock Purdy. I tend to think he's a little bit underrated by most as well. So hard for me to argue out one, Gill. Okay, the one bet that I made, this was one of the ones I brought up as soon as win totals came out. And every time we go back and talk about win totals or look into this more. I keep getting more and more interested in this. So I finally fired on it yesterday. Panthers under 7.5. Minus 130 was the best I could find on that. I will probably play an alt under 6.5 with the Panthers as well. This team, okay, a year ago, bring in Ted McMillan. He's awesome. We love him. We hit a draft bet on him. That was great. He had a great rookie season. 17th ranked offense, 22nd ranked defense is how this Carolina Panthers team finished up. The offense, Gill, scored 30 fewer points than they did the year before. Where they actually got a little better last year was on the defensive side of the ball. All these notes coming from Steve Mackinnon, by the way, in the VSiN NFL betting guide. Go check it out now, VSiN.com. The Panthers, you have that, which keeps leading me to ask this same question for what, the fourth year now? Is Bryce Young any good? I don't really know that he is. I know a lot of people got excited
Big mystery.
Yeah, everybody got excited about some of his play last year. I think it's fine. I'm still concerned about how small he is. I still think he's a little just overrated, period. I don't know that Dave Canales has made that big of an impact yet so far. I know this team has gotten better, but some of the things that they've done have been on the defensive side. And then look at this division, Gill. I still think there's a lot of Saints excitement this year. I get it. I actually kind of lean that way a little bit too. I'm not running to bet overs on their win total or for them to win the NFC South. But you know what? Tyler Shuck, if he's really actually a decent quarterback and can turn into a halfway decent quarterback, I think there's enough talent on that roster for them to be pretty good this year. And I kind of look at the Atlanta Falcons the same way. You and I have talked about this team for the past couple years. The weapons are there offensively. You've got some good defensive pieces. Just what's the quarterback situation? But I do believe enough in the two guys, Penix and Tua, that are there that I think they can do enough that this Falcons team could be good enough to possibly win the division. I think the Bucs haven't taken enough of a step back for them to not be the favorites to win this division heading into it. And that kind of leaves me left over with the Panthers that I do think are likely the worst team in the division where there's not a clear great team or a clear terrible team. But I think they probably are the team that ends up on the bad side. Oh, just to add on to everything on my knocks on the Panthers, they will play the NFC South, plays the AFC North and the NFC North this year. So that is very brutal, which leaves the Panthers with the third toughest schedule in the NFL based on win total. So I am going with Carolina Panthers under 7.5. I did bet that yesterday.
All right, there you go with that. Now, here are some season win totals we love. We have not bet those yet. I will give my two first. Kelley will then give his two. We'll do them a little more rapid fire. This shouldn't be any surprise, and I'm sure this is a very popular one. The Detroit Lions over 10.5 wins. Talked about injuries with the Niners last year. 31 missed games among week one starters in the secondary for the Detroit Lions. By the way, I think it's addition by subtraction with Terry and Arnold being jettisoned. All he was a flag master in terms of inducing PIs. Super favorable schedule. Detroit's going to be favored in around 13 or 14 of their scheduled games this year. They finished in last place in the NFC North last year, despite recording the best points differential in the division, plus 68. Only other team since 1990 to finish last in the division with the best score differential was the 2022 Saints. Lions, 10.5. Not asking them to do more except win 11. Give me the Lions over 10.5. And then the Commanders, Homer, over 7.5 wins. I love this team with Rashad White behind Jaden Daniels. I love Chigakonkwo at tight end. I love the addition, we believe, of Brandon Ayuk. Offensive line has been a question mark, but Kelley, that defense, those linebackers, Sonny Styles, Frankie Louvu, Leo Chenal, Calebon Chason. You got Daron Payne and Odafe up front. You have a bolstered secondary. I really like this team. They don't even have to get to 500. Over 7.5. Jaden Daniels in Washington with the resurgence. Stay healthy, Jaden.
Hard for me to hate on it. I went with another team in the NFC East, Giants over 7.5. I know that's been getting some love here too, but this is, like, I think for both of us, it's weakness at the top of the division, right? I think the Eagles do take a bit of a step back, except I do think they'll still be good. The Cowboys, I think, are a lot of what we saw a year ago, but can they stay as healthy as they did a year ago? And I've got questions about that. So I like what the Giants are putting together here. Over 7.5, lean that way. And then the Vikings, yes, over 8.5 on the Vikings. I wish this was like one win lower or this division wasn't as brutally tough, and I'd be betting this right now. But this is one of those calendar marks, Gill. Vikings over 8.5. I'm going to look at this after week 2, though. They start with Packers and Bears. Let's jump in after week 2, after that Bears game, and we'll hopefully be able to bet into a little better number.
All right. We'll do AFC tomorrow. How about that? Still 1-0. Congo over England. We'll come back. We'll recap all the bets. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game, San Francisco and Vegas, where we're coming from this week. Gill Alexander in San Francisco, Kelley Bydlon back there at the mothership in Las Vegas at Circa Resort Casino. So Congo has had more chances to go up 2-0 in this game, but great saves were made. Kelley, is that true?
Pretty wild. I'm watching. I know you got tennis going. I got this in the corner over here, so
don't tell me.
I've missed a bunch. But the first of all, a Congo defender getting his body in the way of a possible England goal with the goalie out of the picture. So that was an incredible play on one end. And then, I really thought this was about to be 2-0. A beautiful, beautiful pass into the box by Congo. And it just a layup tap in like Erling Haaland had yesterday and just clank off the post. So, hey, this could very easily be 2-0 right now.
Well, if you could sense me drifting a little bit in the last segment or two, it's because I was watching our girl Dion Pari, a plus 164 dog against Anna Kalinskaya, absolutely gack the third set tiebreaker. She was up 8-4. Remember, the deciding tiebreaker goes to 10. Got to win by 2. The Mel _ Insiders, disgusting beat on Paris. Dirch turned on the Dion Paris match when she was up 8-6 in the tiebreak. I saw 4 points. What did I do? No, it was worse than that, Dirch. It happened before you even started. Touchdown Jesus. Today you spell Paris, G-A-C-K. My God, what a kick in the stomach. And Fire Jerry Jones says 8-4, exclamation points and question marks. So we lose that in just the most disgusting way. And when something like that happens, then you brace for the worst all around. But Barbora Krejcikova is up a break in the second set against Andreeva as she tries to even that out. Krejcikova is a plus 182 dog in that match. Both of the others have started. We're down a set and a break in the Tatiana Maria big dog match to Jovic. Bencic and Wong has just begun. So, yeah, it has been, by the way, spectacular grass court season. And then Wimbledon started, and we're down a unit and 3/4 here headed into today. And that Paris match was a real kick in the stomach, as people are saying. That's tough. That's very tough to do. So those are the 4 tennis plays. I am on the draw in the next 2 matches. I didn't get on this one here with England and Congo because we're doing the show 1-0, by the way, now in added time in the first half. I didn't get on anything in this one, but I will be on the draw in the next 2. Senegal, Belgium, I got it plus 240. That feels very drawish to me. And I hate to say this, but I bet the draw in the United States.
Look at this guy.
United States, Congo, plus 403. The draw there. USA, Bosnia, pardon me, plus 403 in the nightcap tonight. So, again, this is regulation time plus stoppage time. Doesn't apply to the 30 minutes if necessary after that before you get to PK. So I've made a couple soccer plays, but nothing on this one right here. What's interesting, what is the live draw line on England Congo here? I wonder what that is. It's not so high, probably, right? Because England was favored. Yeah, just 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
Just plus 200 on that. So nothing I'll get involved in.
Yeah, minus 190 on England to advance. So if you wanted to play it all the way through. So that's, and I know my man Gill Alexander, great American, he's playing the draw price in the 90 minutes because he's going to say draw after 90 and then go USA. And hopefully for me, for me in penalty kicks, that would be nice. Go USA.
Did that Dion Paris thing just happen, by the way?
Dude, that sucks. You and Diane need to have a talk. I don't know. There's a lot of betting between you and Diane. I don't know if it works.
Brutal.
Okay, Panthers under 7.5 wins added to the NFL futures. So wanted to get that up there. And then golf bets for this week, John Deere Classic. Make sure you go check out Long Shots. That is up now with myself, Matt Brown, Wes Reynolds. Get it wherever you get your podcasts and over at YouTube as well. Outrights for me this week, Chris Goddard up 18-1. You are going to see wildly different numbers with him and Ben Griffin at the top of the board. I would play Goddard up anything longer than 16. There's some 13s, 14s out there. You're getting pretty short then. But yeah, Chris Goddard up 18-1. Tom Kim 34-1. Aldrich Potgieter 60-1. And then some top 10s on Goddard up and Tom Kim. Top 20s on Keith Mitchell, Aldrich Potgieter, and Blades Brown. And you know what? I did add some tournament matchups right before the show that did not make the graphic. Keith Mitchell over Jackson Koiven. Yes, I'm going to go against the kid, except I'm going to lay minus 113 on that. And then Zach Backow, I believe this is how you say his name. I've been seeing it all season long. I should know how to say it. Over Matt Wallace, plus 120 and minus 112 over Gill's favorite all-time golfer, Austin Smotherman. And AJ Ewert, minus 116 over Patrick Fishburne for the tournaments.
We get tweets beating the book. Vinny Vincent. I've watched about every Lions game since 1990. All I've heard this week is everyone dinging the Lions for losing Terrion Arnold. Been driving around all week saying, won't miss 3 pass interference calls every game. To hear your comment that you just made, perfection. Thank you, Deputy Vinny. It's exactly how I will remember Terrion Arnold in the Lions uniform. Kevin Downs. My brother from another, I am jealous. Been to Redwoods and Sausalito. Beautiful in San Francisco. R.I.P. Vic Willis of the Village People. Oh, did that just happen? Oh, man. Todd Wishnev was on earlier. Josh Young, over 1.5. That's hits, runs, and RBI. Over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. at minus 137, the over on Josh Young of the Texas Rangers. Toddy gave that out before he departed to go play some tennis. Chris Felica, well, the early game didn't work out. Took 7 minutes, I guess a little less than 7 minutes for the England to 0 thing not to work out. But Belgium to win on the 3-way versus Senegal. He's got that going in the second of the 3 World Cup matches today. And the United States and Bosnia, both teams to score no, meaning he thinks someone will end up with 0 there at minus 130. Will Hill was on earlier. He's got Bosnia plus the goal and a half versus the USA today. Baseball, Pirates, Phillies, first 5 under 4. We call that a Willie special. Braves team total over 2.5. That's first 5 versus the St. Louis Cardinals. And then how about a National League Rookie of the Year play? TJ Rumfield of the Colorado Rockies at 30-1. And then some college football from Willie. Georgia to win the SEC at plus 275. And then Gunnar Stockton to win the Heisman at 18-1. Our own Danny Higgins whispering in our ear that he got Gunnar Stockton at 22-1.
Yeah, Will, step it up. Danny's getting better numbers.
That's right. Danny's doing his thing. Was that the spate of them? I think that wrapped up all the bets on the show today, if I'm not mistaken.
It sure did. Yep.
I believe so. So that's where we stand on all of that. We are about to go to the half. We are at the half. 1-0. The Democratic Republic of Congo, their 7th minute goal, standing up so far 1-0 over England. And boy, oh boy, we've already seen Germany go by the wayside. We've already seen the Netherlands go by the wayside. This would be the biggest of the bunch based on expectation if this held on, with apologies to Germany. But England really, I mean, there was a lot of people early on, and I know there's a full half plus perhaps of soccer to come. But early on in this tournament, there were some whispers of folks who were like, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the first time since 1966 that England can get this done. Time will tell. Full half at a minimum, if necessary, to determine that.
Well, Gil, I'll tell you what I'll be watching for as this game goes on, because, I'm kind of a believer in that side of the bracket, it being, Argentina, England being the 2 really live teams. So, if England gets bounced here, I made that bet on Argentina make the semifinals. Chris brought it up earlier, that exacta France-Argentina to meet in the World Cup final, something like that. I might be adding if England goes down here. I'll be keeping my eyes here on this game for sure, because I think there could be some major futures implication. Live odds right now. This is amazing too. We hit the halftime break. Hit the halftime break, Gil. England minus 170, and this has been bet up already to minus 210 at DraftKings.
Wow.
To advance. This is to advance on the 3-way line live. England plus 120, the draws 2-1, and then Congo plus 265. So those are live numbers if you want to get involved in this match right now.
A couple things. One, every time I look over at the monitor to see you have something else on, which is pretty hilarious.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering if you were going to notice the glasses. I just threw them on.
I was going to say, you have something on your head, right? And then the next time I look, you got the glasses on. The other thing that's interesting about what you were just saying, though, is how much of that is legit soccer handicapping, or how much of that is just the culture of betting in England is so much more vast than it is in the Congo. And by sheer volume, that's going to happen no matter what at this point of a soccer match. All the money is going to come pouring in on England. So time will tell. Prop Points is next. Enjoy from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.